Why did you get in? Was it based on grades?
Why did you think I'm dumb?
No, I'm saying was that like
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to On Air with Sarah and Ariana. This is our 6th episode, and we're getting so much better talking.
Hopefully. I don't know. Sometimes I think that we are, and then sometimes I don't know.
It's really just to practice.
We're getting more comfortable. Whether actual dialect is better,
That's true.
I don't know.
It is crazy how if you just do something more, you do get more comfortable at it.
Yeah.
It's like a life lesson.
Just keep practicing.
Just keep doing it.
Turns
and
out
it might be embarrassing, but
when they say practice makes perfect,
we'll see.
it's true. Oh.
We haven't got there yet, but
Oh, right. Well, we haven't got to
Yes.
perfect yet, but we're getting closer.
we're
Not farther away. That's for sure.
that's true. We're not farther.
Yeah.
Headed in the right direction.
I hope so.
High hopes. Oh my goodness. So what's new? What's up? What's going on in your life of being a woman in business?
From a business standpoint?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why I said that.
Just being a
woman.
Just being
in
a woman.
The world.
Oh, don't give me the numbers. Well, Josh and I are building a deck, so that's exciting. And then,
You're building a deck.
well, when I say Josh and I say that pretty loosely.
You're helping. You're there.
I'll definitely be present,
Okay.
but Josh's parents are flying out to visit us, and so I think Josh's dad will be like, it's gonna be a project for the boys, you know?
Yeah. You're like, oh my gosh, you guys are here.
Like the girls will be drinking wine and making sure the boys are fed. That sounds so anti-feminist, but
Sounds better than building a deck.
yeah, what the heck? Also, if I built it, like, it would not be level. There'd probably be huge cracks. Like, it would be so bad.
Don't you just lay the wood down and hammer it together?
You would think. Probably, actually. I don't know.
I've
I don't
never-
know, and I want to not learn. I want to not know so that I don't ever have to know.
But didn't you already get
But-
suckered into helping?
Well, we got the wood delivered on Monday. Or no, not delivered. Josh went and picked it up. He rented a trailer and picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
But then because our driveway is so steep, we couldn't get the trailer up because it was too low. So we had to carry 150 16-foot wood planks up.
Okay.
How many stairs do you think the set of stairs is from the bottom of the road to the house?
Like 30? I don't know.
I don't know. It felt like 30.
20?
My whole body was shaking like a leaf by the end.
Holy.
Anyway, so that was my workout, and that was my contribution to the deck. And it's
Perfect.
kind of fun because I can like plan out, like, it's a pretty large space, so I can kind of like plan out like where the outdoor furniture is gonna go.
Oh my gosh. We'll have so many more places to film.
I know. Also,
Yep.
Josh is picking up a 8-foot picnic table today that we bought off Facebook Marketplace,
Nice.
so we'll be able to sit out there right away.
Oh my gosh.
So be prepared
By
for some
himself?
outdoor content. Yeah. I'm like,
How?
I don't know, but he says he can do it, and I believe him.
Okay. Well, you're like, you got it. You
I'm like,
can
you're
do it.
so strong.
I believe in you.
You're so strong
I'll
and
be here.
capable and independent.
You're like, you never need anyone's help. And that's, you know what? That's what I like the most about you.
You know what? I respect how independent you are, and it's just so selfless.
Oh my goodness. That'll
Yeah.
be nice though. Because you
I'm-
have a really nice view.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Also, it's like starting to get warm too. So I'm like,
It's like basically spring in Canada. Well, where we live.
it's definitely spring.
Yeah, it's definitely spring.
If you
So
can not
nice.
wear a jacket, I consider that spring.
Yeah, that's true. Your driveway is steep though. I've literally bottomed out on it a couple times.
I know. I've seen it. Well, you have a bike rack
That's true. I did have
on
my
the
bike rack on
back
at the time.
of your car or your SUV.
But why? Is it just because of the bike rack? Like, could I have avoided that?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
if
that makes
maybe
me feel
like
better.
you did it on an angle a bit more.
Yeah.
But one time I forget if I mentioned it or Josh mentioned it, but he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Sarah bottomed out and like scraped the bike.
Oh, he fully
driveway.
watched me do it, and I just rolled down my window and I was like, "Don't tell Anthony." And then I rolled it back up. Even though he probably wouldn't care at all. He'd just be like, "Yeah, well, that's why I don't buy nice bike racks."
It is a steep driveway.
Yeah.
I feel like my parents' car can't get up. Like you need an SUV. Otherwise, you're too low and then you'll bottom out. Even like when we first moved here, the trailer again would not go to the top. So we actually had to bring all of our furniture up the driveway, like with our hands, or like a 2-wheeled cart. But it was like we're lugging things up the driveway.
Oh my God.
And then when you get to our house, it's like the main level is upstairs because we're like built into a hill kind of.
Yeah.
So up the driveway and then again up the stairs to get it to like.
Oh my God. Moving sucks already. Especially have to do that.
Yeah.
No, thank you. When we were.
Anyways. No.
Okay. You know what? We film this podcast as if we can cut out things. Half the time we don't, but like it just gives you more freedom. When we were moving. This is such a. Okay, we'll probably have to cut this out. When we were moving, we like packed up all our stuff, and Anthony packed up stuff and whatever, blah, 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 packed up all the stuff. And then his grandparents were in town, his family, like his sister's boyfriend, everyone kind of helped us move for one day, like moving all the heavy stuff. And his grandma was like unpacking all this stuff in our kitchen and like unpacking this, whatever. And she opens a box and she's like, Sarah, what are these? Where does this go? And it was a box of condoms. I was like, oh, I'll take that. And then I looked.
She said, "What are these?"
I don't think it wasn't like she was like, ooh, look what I found, or like even awkward about it. Like I don't think she actually knew what it was.
She was truly confused.
Or she was like, where should I put these? Essentially, I was like, oh, I'll take that. And I look at Anthony and I was like, what kind of a person just puts this in a random ass fucking box when you know that your entire family is helping us move? Like you're just playing like box roulette. Like you're just throwing it in and then just being like,
that's so embarrassing. Were you like, sorry, I'm trying not to have a. She was probably hoping that you weren't trying to have a child.
That was during the times when she asked me, what did she say to me? She said, you know, your internal clock is ticking. She would say that to me once.
I've gotten that before.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, that was way more.
You're like, yeah, keep
on
digging.
The nose than. Because sometimes there's like, oh, blah. But that one was very.
Oh my gosh, she found the condoms.
That's what an idiot though.
So
like, who
embarrassing.
The fuck packs like that.
But also like
idiot.
If I'm the grandma and I see a box of condoms, I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna leave that over there and I'm just gonna move on to this one.
But it's like I didn't even know they were in the. I was just like,
or I would just like quietly go and like put them somewhere.
I truly don't think she knew what she was looking at.
Did they not have those when she was?
I don't know. She's like in her 80s.
Before menopause. I don't know.
I don't know. Or maybe she did know and she was just doing that to like be cheeky. I don't know. But I was just like, I'm like.
So Anthony packed that box.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No, he like took condoms that he like decided and like threw it in a random box of kitchen shit. Like I swear to God.
Kitchen stuff. That's
or
not
like,
even like the bedroom stuff.
No.
Like your clothes. Or
like maybe
like
it was. I don't actually know. But like he didn't label it. He didn't put anything on it. Anyways.
That is so funny.
Fucking idiot.
But I feel like
I was like,
because my mom was a snooper. Like when I was living under the roof, she snooped.
Really?
And I caught her snooping. And so now, like even when Josh and I went to Banff the other weekend, my mom stayed here with the dog because the dog's too big for their condo.
Yeah.
And I was like,
she's gonna snoop.
In my head, I was like, I need to hide certain things. Even though she wouldn't like care.
Yeah.
It's not like anything bad, but just things where you're like, you know, like we don't really.
Yeah.
We don't like this doesn't need to be a thing. So
we could just not. Yeah.
I like not that I hid, but I kind of just like placed things where I'm like, oh, in case she goes into this cupboard, maybe I'll just like, move that over there.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Anyways, your moving story reminded me of that trauma, and that was fine.
Wow. Yeah, we didn't have that thing.
And it was, of course, me because they were all out like moving furniture and shit, like heavy stuff. And I was like,
You were
And
in
I had a
there.
broken leg at the time, so I couldn't even
You
run
couldn't.
away.
You had to hobble away.
So everyone was
with
there
the
to help
condoms.
because I couldn't. I couldn't even hold. I was like
picturing you just hobbling away with the box like the walk of shame, the hobble of shame.
oh my gosh.
So did you have to go and be like, oh, I'll just take those?
I think so. I don't
yeah.
even remember. I think so. And then I think I went to Anthony. I was like, look at this box your grandma just unpacked. Here you go. You can open it. And then he was like, oh, oops. And I was like, he doesn't care about things like that, though.
No, he doesn't. I feel like guys, too, are like, whatever.
And he's like, And I was like, okay, well, thanks for being a part of my traumatic day.
What are these? You should have been like, well, when a man loves a woman, they do this thing.
Oh, God.
Traumatic.
Anyways, but
Well,
we have a new segment on the show. We've decided, right?
yeah. We're introducing a new segment.
Yes. Ariana's idea. So you can explain it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I feel like through, the last few podcasts we've recorded and even our experience with talking to professionals or talking to other business owners who maybe didn't go to business school or have different background, it feels like this like business lingo or these like keywords or whatever kind of, what's the word? They kind of like segregate people in a way.
I see. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like the jargon that makes you think you don't know something, but
Yeah, it's all this jargon that makes people feel like all of these concepts are way over their head when actually they're not that complicated. It's just a term you've never heard of before, and that's okay. So we were thinking of starting a new segment where we pick a business term every week and we explain it.
explain it to the people.
But also, there's another part to the segment.
Right.
Shall we?
Which was also your idea. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm ready for it. So we're putting on, for those of you just listening, we are putting on, what are these called? Grad caps. Because you can't get these unless you legitimately graduate from business school. Like, you
And
can't
don't
get
look
them,
on Amazon.
yeah, you can't get them on Amazon.
Wow,
Like,
this
you
is
have
really
to graduate
tight.
and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get these.
I feel like I'm gonna have a line on my head.
Why is it so tight?
I don't know. Maybe I have a big head. I think I do have a big head. I'm not gonna lie. This was my idea.
Has
and
this ever been worn?
No.
You
Why
never
the
even
fuck
used
would I
it?
wear it?
When you walk.
This wasn't the same gap. This wasn't the same cap that we used to walk.
Oh.
They,
You just
like-
gotta keep it.
Well, I don't know if this is normal, but basically, like, when you walk, you rent your, like, cap and robe,
Oh.
and then you have to give it back. But then a little while after, I got this box in the mail with a bunch of random shit and this, and I'm like, okay.
Which side means graduated again?
Oh, I have no idea.
Is that a thing where you, like, switch the
Yeah,
sides?
but I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna go this way. You go the other way.
Okay,
We'll
well,
see.
at least one of us
my ears
one
are
of us will
sticking
be
out.
right and one of us will be wrong. Anyways, I I think it was yesterday maybe. I don't know. But I was like, I have this idea for this segment and we can wear graduation caps because we're talking about business school stuff. And anyways, I have been laughing ever since, and I don't know if it's funny or not, but we're gonna keep wearing them.
Why are
Is yours tight?
Not? I don't think it's as tight as yours.
Okay, well, you
Why are my ears
have a
sticking
smaller
out?
head.
Why aren't yours sticking up? You know what? Whatever. Yours have it on wrong.
I think
Whatever.
you just got to pull your hair over your ear from the back. Yeah.
Did I do it?
Are you was it the intention to have yours on crooked?
No.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were like trying to be hip and cool and you were like,
Oh.
yeah. Unless you're trying to be like, I'm chill about it, and then you're wearing it crooked.
Yeah, like those guys who are like the side.
The side hat.
Yeah. No, I wasn't trying to
I
do
thought
that,
you were
but-
going for that.
Well, I'm pretty cool, so. It would make
Welcome
sense.
to our new segment.
Welcome to Business Terms for Business Bitches.
for wait.
Welcome to Business Terms presented by Business Bitches.
Woo!
Okay, so what is our first?
Our first lesson.
Okay.
We need one of those. Okay, I don't know why,
just
but
stop touching
in my head, I envisioned one of those knocker things at court, which is not, this is a completely different thing. That's court and not
It's not
school.
even the
For
same.
some reason I was like, class
job.
is in session, but it's court is in session.
Okay.
Anyways, class is in session. So shut the fuck. No,
Okay,
just kidding.
I'm listening. I'm scared.
So our first business term is break-even point.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun.
Break-even point.
Break-even point. And we're not talking
are we
about
using
your
my-
breaking point. We're not talking about your breakdown.
Right. Not to be confused with breakdown.
Not to be confused with mental breakdown. Menti B, as the kids say it,
Whoa.
short form.
Show another segment of that where you teach me
Lingo.
Gen Z lingo.
I don't really think I actually know Gen Z lingo very well.
okay.
Sometimes they say something and I'm like, I don't know what that means. This is embarrassing.
You're like, is that right?
I don't think so. I don't know. Okay. Break even point. Sarah?
Oh, I get to start.
Oh, okay, wait, this reminds me. How annoying was it in school when teachers would just call on you and you're just minding your own business. You're just trying to be in dreamland. And all of a sudden they're like, Sarah, what's the definition of break even point?
Okay, so my sister-in-law is dating, well, now they're engaged, a guy who I went to college with.
Yeah.
And so he likes to tell stories about me in college. And he was like, yeah, I'll just in the class, Sarah. And she's just like in there answering every single question. Like every question the teacher asked, Sarah is always the one answering. So I think I was actually probably a little bit annoying, but I need you to hear where this comes from.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like growing up, I did a lot of performing
Yeah.
where you're on a stage, you're singing a song, you're giving a speech, whatever. And the absolute worst thing ever.
So sorry, this grad caps keeps hitting this plan and then my
It's actually very
string
challenging.
goes everywhere.
The worst thing ever when you're performing or doing anything in front of people is when people aren't paying attention or listening or like giving you the time of day and you're like, it's so awkward.
They're not paying attention to you.
It's so awkward
It's
though when you're
so-
like standing there doing something and everyone's just like, anyways.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's the worst feeling ever. So I had this like weird performance anxiety for whoever the teacher was in classes. And I think now, I'm hoping now I would not be like that anymore. But I just was like if they were like, hey guys, what's the answer to 7? Like the fact that no one answered gave me anxiety. Yeah.
Really?
And I asked Anthony that. I was like, yeah, but everyone feels, he's like, I don't care. I'll sit there in silence all day. And I was like, anyway, so I felt like I had to answer because I felt like bad for them if no one was answering in a weird way.
Oh.
Did that answer your question?
About break even point or about you remember or about when people or when teachers picked on you in school?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, you're saying you were always prepared. You were anticipating it. You were almost like proactively answering the question so they didn't even have to pick on you.
Yes.
Like when it came time to pick on people, they didn't choose you because you already talked enough.
Yes. Probably.
Okay. We were opposites, but we can talk about that later.
Okay, we can talk about that after.
Okay, break even point.
Break even point is when your business operations break even. So you're not making money and you're not losing money. You're at 0.
I'm sorry, but that was hilarious. Your break even point is when your business breaks even.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's a terrible way of describing it. Essentially, you're trying to figure out,
No, it's
usually
fine.
when you use the break even point or equation, you're trying to figure out how many dollars do I have to sell or how many units of this product do I have to sell so I don't make money, but I also don't lose money.
Yeah.
I'm right at 0.
Yeah, it's a point where your total revenue equals your total costs. So that includes your fixed costs and your variable costs.
Wow, that was so much better.
No, you know what? We're just saying things. We're saying the same thing in different ways.
Yeah, that's so true. And sometimes I think people think, okay, well, can't I just go my revenue? Like, can't my cost just equal my revenue? But it's a little bit different because if you have variable costs, which is essentially a cost that goes up every time you get another sale, then it slightly shifts how much revenue you need based on costs.
Yeah.
And so the equation usually just is fixed costs. Fixed costs, I was going to say fixed costs divided by gross margin, but now I'm making it way more complicated. I made it worse.
Oh no.
I forgot because we didn't talk about gross margin yet.
We haven't talked about variable costs, fixed costs, which we probably should, because I feel like that is something that people talk about, especially when you're thinking about like evaluating new product lines, new business ideas, new whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that later. But
You just said that for 7 different things.
what did I say? I just blacked out. What did I say?
You've just said like 7 different things and you're like, we'll talk about that later, like for 4 different things in a row.
We'll talk about those terms.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm really pushing a lot off at a future
that's
date.
a future problem.
Basically, what I'm saying is we can go over the definition of fixed costs and variable costs in another business term by business bitches segment.
Yes.
But it won't be today. Because
Okay.
today we're just talking about break-even point.
Today we're just talking about break-even point.
So yeah, it's the point where basically like you stop operating at a loss. So like how much do you have to sell, quantity or dollar wise, in order to be at the point where your next sale you'll make profit, right?
Yeah.
It's like the minimum that you should be doing in order to not be losing.
It's basically the minimum you should do, where the alternative option of just laying on the couch and doing nothing is not better, right? Like you'd be better off to lay on the couch and do literally nothing
Than to lose.
than to operate underneath this threshold for your business. That's actually a terrible way to think though, because half of it's an investment and you have to like put the time in.
You have to be at a loss before you like are at a profit.
Exactly. But I do sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's actually, don't think of it like that.
I think you know what? I know what you're saying.
I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes you look at people's businesses and you're like, wow, you just worked so hard and you probably would have been better off to lay on the couch.
Because you're operating at such a extreme loss.
Yeah, but that's not really true at all because they're learning new skills. They're getting new opportunities. I just thought it was funny, but
yeah. So anyways, that's break-even point, and it's not that complicated.
Did we explain it? I think so.
Did we? How much more can we explain it? We can give you more like mediocre analogies.
More examples.
Like it's where your revenue equals your costs.
Yeah, like let's say you have a company that makes a widget. You have rent. You have your wage. You have random other stuff.
Yeah.
You have your software. Then you also have the price of the widget that you're producing. And then when you add all of those together, it's like how many widgets do you need to sell to cover all of that?
Yeah.
What's a widget?
I love that example that you picked. I was thinking like you have 5 apples and you were like, you have a widget. Yours is probably better.
Gosh.
I
think that makes sense.
I think that makes sense. And maybe we should have like our first term should have been like a fixed cost.
Yeah.
Or like variable
I know,
cost.
because we kind of need other words to describe this word.
But you know what? I think you guys get it. And if you don't, stick around until we do those segments where we talk about fixed costs and variable costs. But I feel like you get it.
Yeah. Also, your first one can't be the best. We need room to improve.
Yeah, that's so true. Start low.
Yeah. But but maybe for next time,
Mm-hmm.
not that this was bad, but maybe for next time we'll think of what the word is, and then if there's other words needed to describe that word, maybe we'll say those words first.
Yeah.
But
What
we
do they
can come
call
back to this
that
one.
in school when there's a prerequisite?
Yeah.
If there's prerequisite words before explaining that word.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's an intermediate word.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Okay, so you're saying when you're in a class you weren't answering all the questions.
Okay. When I was in a class, I was in the very back row with my head down, praying.
Why?
I didn't make eye contact with them. When they were like coming around,
Like
they
you
were
were
like,
laying down? Like
No.
laying your head on the desk?
no.
Oh, you just went like this.
I would just be like looking at my paper, looking somewhere else. I'm like, don't make eye contact because then they're going to choose me. And I feel like probably because I did that, I truly don't know if I ever raised my hand to answer something. Like it was always
Were you in were they big classes?
somewhere. Like some classes were like a few hundred people.
Yeah.
But by the time you got to 4th year, they're pretty small.
Mm.
And even like my graduate program, there was only 30 kids in the whole program, and you do every class together. Like it's like all day classroom.
Ew.
I know, it was disgusting. Also, this is kind of funny. I actually never thought, because you had to apply to be in the grad program.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what it was is it was full-time school for 3 months, and it fast-tracked you through all the CPA modules.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So you
That
did.
seems sweet, actually.
Yeah, so you did your core 1, core 2, and you actually did all 4 electives.
And then after that, you had to do all the practicum stuff.
Capstone. Yeah, like the group project thing.
But then, like, get your hours. Right?
Well, your hours are just based off of the job, not based off of school. You know?
Right. But, like, you did school first with no hours and then went to job.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Because I was like, I know myself, and if I have to do schooling for multiple years while I'm working, it's going to be a nightmare. And I'll procrastinate and I'll whatever. Anyways, you had to apply to get into this graduate program because they were only allowing 30 people in. And I applied, and I kind of like, I wasn't sure if I was going to get in or not, because it also was open. It wasn't just my university, like anyone, like all universities. Although it mostly was my university that went in. Anyways. And I didn't really think that I was going to get in. And then when I got in, I was like, oh, sweet. But then my school had this thing called like an accounting association. Did yours have that?
Yeah, I think we had an accounting club or something.
Yeah, it was like this accounting association, and they would do like events and networking stuff and like LinkedIn stuff. And like, I don't, truly, I have no idea, but I was not a part of it because I was like, so I was like, I'm not being a part of that accounting association. Like, fuck that. And then by the time I got to the grad program, it was only accounting association people that got in, and then me.
So they all knew each other.
They all knew each other, and they were all like, go hard accounting, like, woohoo, like, raise your hand, like, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
Why did you get in? Was it based on grades?
Why did you think I'm dumb?
No, I'm saying was that like,
yeah.
Okay, because you are very smart.
Well, I think I'm mediocre smart.
Okay, but I
think
like
I wrote a good
grades.
I think I wrote a good entrance letter.
You had to write a letter?
Mm-hmm. You have to write an entrance letter, and then obviously it's like grades.
Like an essay?
Kind of. I don't think it was that long though. I remember it being like a page.
Oh.
But basically like explaining like why you want to be part of this program.
Got it.
And I feel like I wrote like a pretty good entrance letter.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I must have also had the grades because I know of people who didn't get in.
Yeah. You don't know if you had good grades? You can't remember?
No, like no, what I'm saying is like I know that like the grades obviously also had a part in it.
But like, yeah, okay.
So like I didn't have bad grades.
I see what you're saying.
But I wasn't like 5.0 or whatever.
Yeah. Your grades weren't your identity.
No.
Gotcha.
I truly was like, let's get enough to like
C's get degrees. I feel like you did not have C's.
No, I didn't have C's. I still had like a 4 point something. Actually, no. I think it was, I don't know.
Oh, 4.0 was the highest.
Or is it 4.5? If it was a 4.0, then I did not have that. That's the highest. Anyways, I want to say it was like average. I want to say it was like in the 80%-ish range. Anyways, I was like, wow, I kind of feel like I don't belong in this program at all because it's such like a tight-knit group, and they're all like accounting association people. They all do these like events. They all like whatever.
And we're like, ew, what are you doing here?
They're like, what the fuck is this dumb bitch doing? She's that like. Anyways, I also wasn't really friends with like many people in accounting. Like in my program, like I had like some friends. I made more friends in the program.
Yeah,
that like I wouldn't have normally gotten the chance to get to know. I don't know where I was going with this, except for I don't feel like I belonged.
Right.
Like I wasn't like an overachiever. And I tried to like go to the back of the class.
Let the other people sit up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I definitely remember like the first couple years, like I definitely have gone to class drunk before. I definitely have done the bare minimum before. Mostly just because I was like I'm having so much fun doing these other things.
Yeah.
Yay. Let's go to this. Let's do this. Let's do this tonight instead of doing my homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like everyone in university.
Not you.
Well. Okay, but I only answered the questions if no one else. Like if there was a gung-ho person who was like the people you're describing in the class, all day they can answer it. I didn't want to answer it, but when there was an awkward silence, I had to help the teacher out. That's how I felt.
Like you felt secondhand awkwardness as if it was you and no one was like engaging.
Yeah, but if there was other people who were engaging, then I would not talk at all.
I feel like I remember people, like the people who always raise their hands, and then the teacher would be like, not you. And then they'd like keep walking.
Hilarious. So also I had this thing. I was in school though to like get it done. Like I also was not in any sort of accounting thing. I wasn't in a single extracurricular. I wasn't in any of the clubs, nothing. I went to enough stuff to like
do
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
And I also loved any class where it was like, that's why I think I really liked accounting, is because most of the classes were like 50% of your grade is this midterm, and then like the other 50 is this final, or maybe not quite, like 40%, and then like 5% is homework. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I was really good at taking tests. So I was like,
too.
I don't even want to show up, but I just want to take the test.
Yeah.
And so when people would try to stray us away from what the fuck the point of this class is and me learning enough to take the test, I didn't love that. So I would sometimes, like, this is so mean. It wasn't that mean, but there's this one kid, you know those people that just like, you're like, they're almost talking just to hear their own voice.
Yep.
And then they're talking about questions that don't apply to what we're learning. And it's like weirdly hypothetical. And we're trying to do a review.
And you're like, there's after hours for a fucking reason. Take it up after class.
Yeah, like if you want to have a hypothetical, fun little, I don't know. It just would make me so annoyed when someone would just waste everyone's time to like have this like, what if, for example, 3 people owned a business together, and you're just like, this has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Also, we're in a 101 class. Yeah, of course, there's probably concepts that are more. There's other situations that might like.
Yeah. There's other complex advanced situations that we're not going to cover right now. Like, move along.
Move along. So I would just get like, I think most of my efforts of like answering any sort of question was also just to like keep it going. Because I don't know. I just was like, come on, let's do it. But
I mean, that's fair. I feel like now that being said about the whole like sitting at the back, not wanting to answer your question, when the teacher was trying to find someone to pick, my heart would be racing.
No, just for a question?
Yeah. Like
no.
Panicking.
That's what you do. Was that like when they were like, say a fun fact about yourself?
Yeah. Okay, this is a sidebar, but Sarah and I were going to this network thing, and I was like, please God, don't do an icebreaker. Like, please. Like, I'm just a girl. Like, I'm not built for this. Like, this reminds me of summer camp when I was 8.
And I was like, I bet they will. Shy. I bet they're going to do an icebreaker.
And I was like,
I think I brought it up. I was like, what are you going to say for the icebreaker? And you're like, they're not going to do an icebreaker.
They're not going to do an icebreaker. This isn't camp when I was 8. Like, what are you saying? And then we got there and we did an icebreaker. And
I knew it.
The whole, like, you're like waiting for your, like, I feel like I can hardly listen to the people before me because my heart is racing so much. And I'm like, oh my God. And also, I can talk. Like, if I'm having a conversation with someone, I can talk. Like, I'm not scared to talk to strangers. But for some reason, that type of situation, my heart just starts racing. Like,
yeah. And also, it's a lot of pressure because it's always like, say this, and like a fun fact. So now you have to like be witty or funny or something. Like, it's too much.
Or you just admit defeat and say something not funny, which is what I did.
Oh.
Even though I was hilarious.
I don't remember what you said at all, but
I think I said like, oh, I'm from Ontario or something.
And then
anyways,
went, boo.
And the thing is Sarah and I were sitting at different places. And so the first thing was like, what do you like, explain what you do for work? And of course, I had to go fucking first. So Sarah just got to say what she said, and I had to do the whole spiel.
And I'm like, so good.
Panicking. But yeah, same feeling.
Yeah, fair enough.
When the teacher's like, all right, somebody new who hasn't answered, and they're going around. And I'm like, don't look, don't look. My heart's racing. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Somebody new who's drunk.
No, I was hardly.
Ariana,
I was hardly. That was like
wake up.
actually when I was in engineering, there was a lot of times I was drunk, hence why I probably dropped out. Anyways,
From engineering.
I digress.
How long were you in engineering?
A year and a half.
Is it just math? What is
Math and
engineering?
science.
Oh, okay. Like physics?
Physics, calculus, chemistry.
No biology.
Well, I was in a biomedical mechanical engineering,
Huh?
which would have been like designing artificial joints, prosthetics,
it
like
would be
that kind of
biology.
stuff. Yeah, but I just don't think I got to that point. Although I did take an anatomy course, which was so interesting. I love science.
Wow.
Anyways, I was definitely not like an overachiever student. I got what needed to be done, and even some of the assignments I just like didn't hand in, which I was like, whoops, I'll still pass. It's fine.
In hindsight, are you like, do you ever think like, oh, I might have liked being an engineer? Or do you think you would not have liked it?
I don't know because
You'd have to work with engineers.
I know that honestly, that would suck.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is
No offense to any engineers out there.
but also
Why y'all so weird?
why y'all like that? Well,
Just
imagine going to school
Not
with
all
them.
of you.
Imagine going to school with them. I think I was the only woman in some of my courses.
Oh.
Like my computer programming course. I'm like, one time I walked into a class and they were like, this is whatever.
This is engineering.
Are you
You
in the
dumb
right
bitch.
class? One time I walked in and they were like, this is physics. And I'm like, and they're like, okay.
They're like, can we see your itinerary, please? We don't
No.
believe you should be here.
No. But I love science. I love biology. I did really well in physics in high school. And I just find the sciences so interesting. But I think most engineering, at least when you're actually have an engineering job, I feel like you're just like at a computer on like AutoCAD or like doing stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I just don't know if I would have.
Yeah, probably depends on the type of engineer.
I don't know if I would have liked being an engineer. And this is going to sound so dumb because I don't think I'm smart enough to do this. But if I was smart enough, I feel like I would love to do something in like astronomy.
Oh, that'd be cool. You could have your like crystals and your like, tarot cards.
No, astronomy,
I
not
know, I'm just
astrology.
kidding. You're like, you guys.
But also,
do you ever think that the universe?
do you ever think the stars are trying to speak to you?
No,
I
that'd
do.
be cool. Work for NASA?
Wouldn't that be so cool to be like an astrophysicist? Even though, again, I don't think I'm smart enough for that. But like, that would be so interesting.
I don't think I would want to do that. But
Actually, when I was a kid growing up, I always said I wanted to be a marine biologist. And then I didn't, obviously.
is that because of that mermaid movie? Didn't everyone want to be a marine biologist?
The mermaid movie? What, like Little Mermaid?
No, there was another one. Anyways.
I think that was a thing off Seinfeld. Wasn't? Okay.
That'd be a cool job.
I think it'd be super cool. But didn't do that either. Anyways, I've always loved the sciences. And so with
you
engineering,
went
I was
into
like, I know. Well, with engineering, I was like, I don't want to sit at a computer all day. I feel like this isn't the right fit, blah, blah, blah. And then I dropped out and I came home. My parents were kind of like, well, you're not sitting here, so you're going to school for something. And so there's like a college in my local town or in the town closest. And I was like, I'll just take like the business program just to occupy my time and see. And then it was basically like, oh, well, I'm good at math and I feel like you can make money doing like the accounting field and I'll need a university degree. So I guess I'll just do that. And then I just went to university for accounting.
Sweet.
But I'm like, this is literally working on a computer.
Yeah.
No wonder
you failed.
I'm like,
just kidding.
No wonder I'm like, why do I hate this job too? No, I'm just kidding. Anyways.
Gosh, yeah, that's fair. Apparently, there was 2 guys I worked with before, and they were both like not the type of people that you'd be like think would be in any sort of like accounting thing.
Describe that.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But they were awesome. They're both super smart. And apparently the first day of class, one of their teachers was just like, yeah, there's not enough like people in accounting. I can't remember the exact story. And basically like kind of implied that they couldn't do it. So they just did it. They're like, we're doing it. And then they just both did it. And then they both were like senior managers at like a big accounting company.
Just to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just, motivation comes from different places, you know?
Did you like school?
I think so. I think I felt like I was doing something with my life because I took such a long time off.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I was like, okay, I need to like figure out what I'm doing. And the accounting courses I found very easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, not easy, but I was like, it makes sense.
It clicks.
Yeah, like I can be like, I learned this, I took these notes, I read it, I did the test, I got 98%.
Yeah.
Like, and I did study, but it was like, I think for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually good at this or good at something.
Aww,
Not that I'm not good at things, but you know what I
good
mean?
at lots of things.
Stop. But it was just like, oh, this is something that I clearly get. So it made it made it more fun for sure than like struggling through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
makes
I
sense.
also found it really interesting. Like where you're saying like biology and science, like I couldn't get through a grade 9 biology class. Like I cannot
I didn't
pay
take
attention in science.
I didn't take a single elective in high school because I took all the 3 sciences, all the.
See, in school, like university, I took 2 different, like, so you could take electives, obviously, and I just took math electives.
When I got to like the business program,
Yeah.
the electives that I chose were so dumb just to check it off the list. It was like, what was one of the, I truly don't even remember what they were, but they were such fluff that I was like, I literally don't have to show up ever, and then I can just write this exam and get like a really high grade because like who cares. I was not actually I did take a project management elective, and that was kind of interesting.
I don't know if we had that. I think I think I did the same thing, but like I did it because I found that with math, the math electives, like you took 1 midterm, 1 final.
And it was
like you almost couldn't fail. In the sense that
unless
like
you didn't understand math.
Yeah, but I was like, I feel like with math, it's like this is the type of problem and this is how you do it. And there's like 4 of those, and then they test you on the 4 concepts, and you're like, it's almost impossible not to do it
as long as you just remember the steps or like can conceptualize the steps.
But it's like there's always the steps.
Yeah.
Whereas like an English paper, a history paper, like to me, psychology, there's like this open-ended amount of answers you can give, and I'm like, that's way more overwhelming than like here's 4 steps of doing this math problem, or 40, but there's at least.
I loved psychology. It's actually interesting because I feel like my younger self was like
mentally ill.
Okay, well that hasn't gone away, so kidding. I don't know why you're saying younger self.
I was kidding, I don't know. I thought that.
You thought that was funny because it was true. Just kidding. The things that like I didn't like philosophy, I didn't like history, like I didn't like those open-ended things, and I feel like as I age, I'm finding those things more interesting.
Me too.
Interesting.
Yeah. Probably because you're like, oh, cool, I'm literally marching towards death and I'm about to die, so I better figure out what the point of life is.
You know what? The meaning of life does keep me up at night.
Does it?
Well, I'm trying to be better at like
not caring.
Chilling, at being chill. I'm trying to.
You're like, who cares what life's meaning
I'm like,
is?
It's just a rock that we're just floating in space that we don't even understand, and maybe our whole universe is in a black hole right now. We don't even know.
Is that a thing?
It's a theory.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Anywho, I won't get you guys sidetracked on that because I can go down a rabbit hole and then we'll be here for like 3 hours, and that probably is not great. And you came here for business bitches. So I feel like we're similar in some ways as students and different in others. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely was going to school to get the piece of paper so that I could get on to the next thing.
Yeah, me too. I was like, give me the paper and then it's fucking dead.
Yeah.
But also I was trying to have a good time. I'm not gonna lie.
But you lived on campus, right?
No.
Or no?
I lived on campus when I did engineering for a year and a
Oh.
half, hence why I was hammered all the time. Duh.
You're
But
like, how come I didn't pass my engineering course?
I'm Oh, I knew.
You're like, I guess engineering's not for me.
I knew. I tried some. Anyways, we won't get into that 'cause then I'll have to cut it out.
Yeah, it'll be a waste of time. You just have to say it, cut it out. Ugh.
ugh. But when I went like in my business program, I was living at home,
Okay.
and I actually lived like an hour from campus.
Holy.
So sometimes I'd stay at my friend's house because they lived in the same town as university.
Mm.
Like when we were like going out and drinking, going to the campus bar, whatever. But otherwise, I'd drive home. So obviously, I was sober. You know what? Most of my drinking while in school was when I was in engineering.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like listen, engineers are a special breed. But at least the universities in Ontario, I'm assuming it's the same. The engineering frosh week and even the whole culture is so intense.
Really?
Like frosh week in engineering
What
was
the fuck
so
is Frosh
bad.
Week?
What?
I never went to a real university.
Okay, so frosh week is like the first week of school. Basically, like
Okay.
either before classes start or maybe it's like the first week of classes where there'll be like events happening all over campus. A lot of the times there'll be events that are like you're with your program, kind of
Mhm.
for you to like meet people in your program. Like
Mhm.
there's games, there's events, there's
Make
whatever.
a friend.
But basically, it's just a week long shit show where you're like everyone is hammered everywhere
That sounds so fun.
all the time. It is really fun.
Yeah.
And it's only for freshmen, like frosh week.
Mm-hmm.
So, like first years. But the engineering frosh week was so abusive my year that the following year they actually had to put rules in place. Cuz like for the engineering frosh, they make you wear coveralls. So they give you a set of coveralls.
Who's abusing you? Like the older
Yeah.
engineers?
The older years.
The ones that are like almost have the pink earring? But
Yeah.
not quite? Okay. Got it.
So they give you like a set of coveralls.
Yeah.
And then they'll like literally abuse you. They'll like they'll throw food at you. They'll make you do drinking stuff. Like they'll make you like carry like
Oh my God.
but you're just like blackout hammered the whole time. And then because the school that I went to for engineering was in Ottawa, you can just like walk across the bridge to Quebec where the drinking age is a year younger. So like Quebec, the drinking age is 18 instead of 19. I was 17, so I still had a problem, but I had a fake ID, so it was fine. But they would literally bus you across the bridge during frosh week to like drink, to be able to drink and go to the bars.
Who's busing you?
Whoever arranged the frosh week activities, I don't know. The people.
The university?
Probably. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it was sketchy across the bridge because it's in, if anyone is from the area, they know Hull is where you would
Hell?
go. Hull. Like Hull. Basically hell. Anyways.
Okay, so I don't know what we had to cut out, but just know Ariana had a lot of fun in school.
Mostly the first
And I'm not sure
years.
if it was the curriculum in the engineering that was the problem. Well, there you go.
There you go.
I hope you learned something about business because that was so business related.
It was business school related.
That's so true. See, business school is not all bad. It was actually really fun.
The business school was fun
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yeah. I think it was fun.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
Well,
we did have different experiences, but
you know what? That was more my engineering experience.
Yeah.
Probably hence the dropout. I definitely was a lot more tame and mature by the
Yeah.
time I got to business school.
fair. You're
Yeah.
like, been there, done that.
I'm like, you know what? Been there. I got it out of my system.
Yeah. Time to buckle down.
Let's get this degree done.
Let's get it done. Let's join the accounting club. Did you have to join the club after?
No, I never did. Anywho.
So you have to do extracurriculars. Also, just goes to show you, what's the thing? C's get degrees. Not that we had C's, but
Not that we had C's, but like you don't need to be doing the most in order to get what you need. Like
70%, baby.
70%, baby. Okay. We'll see you next week.
See you next time.
Bye.